Okay, so everyone, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Usman and I'm student of Trans School Korangi campus. My class name is the Future Navigators. So today we have a very great and honorable guest whose name is Michael Ballard. So today we try to know about him. So let's start our interview without any waste of time. Hi sir, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to be here.
Okay. Yes, so before moving on questions, I want to thank you that you come in my show and giving you your valuable time.
My honor, thank you.
Okay, first of all, please introduce yourself to my audience.
Certainly. So I'm Michael Ballard, and the company is called Resiliency for Life. And resiliency is about how our beliefs and values form our attitude, which form our habits, and then our habits determine our happiness, have a big impact on our health, our income, who we choose to have as friends, and lifelong successes or failures. So it's not everything, but it's a big piece. So I teach resiliency because as a two-time cancer survivor, I was really amazed that there was no skill-based programming to help me deal with my fight with cancer. So that got me started. And then a few years later, when I was healthy and recovered, my daughter, who's healthy now, had a brain tumor here. And once again, in a world famous hospital, what skills did they have to teach her to help her cope? Nothing. And I was like, wait a minute. Ancient cultures from all around the world have all these skills. But apparently, mental health programming, sadly, designed often in Western culture, have not assimilated the wisdom of Eastern cultures and other cultures. So I decided with Resiliency for Life to take research proven skills and strategies to help teach people how to be more resilient, more flexible, more malleable, more bendy to deal with life's overwhelming frustrations, big stuff, and overwhelming life crisis. Doesn't guarantee success, always guarantees a better quality experience. So that's what I do. So I've worked with youth groups and children and seniors and businesses and communities, and I love it. That's what I do.
Okay, so I visit your Facebook profile and this is amazing. So I know about you as a you are coach and so now tell me what inspired you to become a coach?
Oh, after I went through all my issues, and especially after my helping my daughter, I got told that my daughter was the happiest child they'd ever met that was that sick. And I went, well, we taught her the following things to cope, and it gives her a sense of ownership. She can't change the quality of her life with the brain tumor until the surgeon and the care team operate, but she can manage her attitude, acknowledge the pain, the grief, the fear, but then manage her attitude. So, with no pressure, age appropriately, we taught her, and she did. So then people said, "You need to teach me. How'd you do that?" I said, "Well, first of all, I believe that everything I do is in alignment with the major faiths. Nobody I've taught or kept, I always say, tell your doctor, tell your mental health professional, tell your religious leader what you're doing with me, because I don't want to go against any of the faiths. I want to use it to supplement." So basically, resiliency is coaching people to go in the direction that serves them best to keep them safe and have a better quality experience regardless of what they're going through, sometimes to greatly increase the quality of the outcomes. So I started off doing half hour talks with people over a cup of tea or coffee. And then it became, would you come to my house and meet my spouse and my kids? We got to do this for the whole family. And then it was like, I got two neighbors that want to talk. And the next thing you know, I was around a picnic table at barbecues with 6 people or 12 people or 5 families as one, they all focused on one person with an illness. Or then it was, would you talk to my sales team? We just lost a big customer. We need to get our energy back and get going being professional. So here I am 25 plus years later, and I've worked with IBM and Bell and the government of Singapore, and I just having the time of my life with it. It's a lot of work, but I love every second of it.
Okay, good. So tell me how many and which challenges you faced to become a coach.
Oh, lots of changes. So first of all, I had to use more generalized language so that I could deal with people who had English as a second language, which is perfectly wonderful. Then I had to realize that a lot of my language was based on my business training, where I got some extensive sales training, but it was very business focused. And I had to more generalize my language because I was talking to people who often had health issues or, like me, had education issues and were stuck. So that was a big one. Then I went off and got certified in a coaching program for athletes because I found the business coaching in the 90s and the early 2000s was very intellectually focused, which is important, but it didn't have any emotion or physical. So to coach somebody, you got to coach the whole person. So I went and got certified again in the coaching program when it was upgraded later in the mid 2000s, early 2000s. So that was to make sure I had a good, safe process because safety is important too. Because nothing I do is a cure. What I do is a supplement to help people deal with what they're going through so they're safer and have a higher quality experience to impact the outcome. So those were the things that I wanted to make sure I wasn't getting in my way or my client's way. And sometimes I've worked with kids as young as 3 and 4 years old. I worked with a young man who was so wonderful, but he was traumatized because he witnessed a crime, saved his mother's life by phoning 911. Well, a year later, his teacher sounded like the criminal who was attacking his mother. So he was having real-time outbursts in the classroom. So the school board didn't teach skills. They diagnosed him as having PTSD and they diagnosed him with behavior issues, but they wanted to kick him out of school. That's not right. That's not fair. You're victimizing him again. He was a hero. And because our medical system and mental health system don't teach skills, and he was too young for pills and too young for talk therapy, he was sort of just going to be thrown out. And the mother found me, and I don't cure anything, but I gave him skills for calmness. I gave him skills to comprehend what he was going through, to manage what I call manage his energy. We don't call it feelings because for some people, some families, some communities, feelings are considered inappropriate. Well, they're very appropriate in my world, but we call it managing your energy so that you could have better safety and better outcomes. And within 5 weeks, 5 sessions, and listening to our audio programs for calmness, we helped him manage his energy so that there was no more school outbursts. And a school teacher said, "It's like he's a different child." Wow. So that's the sort of thing I love to do. The 87-year-old lady who said, "I still got all the stuff going on, but because my eyesight's going, they just want to put a diaper on me and have me mess my pants at night instead of coming and helping me walk to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I am not doing that." So she was getting up and panicking. So I taught her some breathing skills to be calm so that she could then push the buzzer to get nursing help, to go to the bathroom and not feel urgent about everything. So those are some of the reasons why I do what I do, and it's exciting.
Okay, so you think that, in your opinion, students should learn skills only, not study? With study, they should learn skills, right?
Yes, so that same boy that had been traumatized as a little boy was got to grade 3, and his mother called me, and he called me then saying, "We are moving, but I'd like you to come for pizza and tea." And his mother then shared that his grade 3 teacher said he was the most amazing student he ever had. And the teacher said at the beginning of the year, "I told the kids that Friday afternoons, just after recess, I'm going to give you a little quiz to make sure that I'm being a good teacher and you're understanding the lessons I've given you that week." And he said, normally, during that quiz, I get all sorts of kids, "Teacher, teacher, I got to go to the bathroom. Teacher, teacher, the bathroom." And he said, because they're anxious. I'm questioning their knowledge, but I'm really not worried about them doing well. I want to make sure I'm teaching them so they remember it. That's what I'm doing it for. Well, this young man, he said to the mother, put his hand up and said, "Teacher, if you practice the skills that my friend Michael told me," that just touched my heart. I hadn't seen him in 2 years, and he still remembered what I taught him. "It'll help your brains come out on the test." So I taught him belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. I taught him triangle breathing. Do we have time to teach triangle breathing? Yes? So triangle breathing is you put your finger at the top of the screen and pretend you're going to draw a triangle. And you breathe in. 1, 2, 3, and hold. And then you exhale. So in on 3, hold for 3, out on 3. And then you can do in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4 seconds. Anyways, the teacher said he taught them all belly breathing, triangle breathing, and square breathing, where it's the same as the triangle, only you go in a square and you don't end up where you started, just to make you concentrate a little bit more. So the teacher said, for 1 year, it's the calmest class I've ever had. He changed how I teach. I didn't have one kid during these tests say I have to go to the bathroom. So I said, you're my test preparation guy. You're going to teach the class and remind them before every test and then the quarterly exams, breathing skills for calmness. So the mother said, and he said, no more issues. And the little boy, taught him some other things like slow racing, turtle walking, everything about calmness and focus. He says to me, and I'm faster in the playground now because I can concentrate when I'm calm. So that for students is one of the key things is calmness, because learning and then writing exams or tests to show what we've learned can be stressful. I remember. So that's what I've loved to do with students, because it's really important that we have calmness so we can be the best student to show people what we've learned.
Okay, good. So you tell me about the triangle breathing exercise. This is amazing, and I tried this. And you know about your school Korangi campus?
Sorry, I missed the word.
Rehan School Korangi campus.
Oh, yes. Yep, you can do it on a whole campus.
Yes. So in Facebook, Rehan School Korangi campus page, and there is we do a yoga and meditation in morning. When we go to
Smart.
school, after assembly, we do yoga and meditation.
Very wise. I learned a lot of my breathing skills through choir at House of Worship, martial arts teacher, and my favorite, I had some very good physical education teachers, but Mr. Edward Sargentson taught me breathing skills, and he taught me another skill that was very important called visualization. I don't know if you've practiced it, been taught it yet, but visualization is you take what you want to learn and you break it into pieces and you practice it here and here in advance. And when I say here and here, you think and feel, practice it. What do you want to do? And so he first taught it to me about catching a football. I have above average hand size, so should make it easier, right? I was anxious to the point where I could not catch the football. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? It's coming at me fast. Whoa! Mr. Sargentson, when I was 12 and 13, said, Michael, put your feet on the ground and plant them shoulder width. Michael, you got big mitts, big hands. Imagine the ball's coming. You see it throw. It's spiraling. It's coming in. 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 And you caught it. My success rate went from about 2 out of 10 times to about 9 out of 10 times after only 20 practices. You went, see, visualization really works. So that was another skill that to be resilient, whether it's as a student in grade 1 or a student in grade 9 or a university student, we can all practice. So before writing a test, I practice calmness. I practice remembering that I have studied. I have practiced the exam questions. I have practiced. I am wise enough. I just have to remember to be calm and focused. And the triangle breathing and the visualization and other skills all make the difference. And the meditation and the yoga are also a wise set of practices, because human beings are much more capable than most of us give us credit for. And one other thing to tell your listeners and remind them is, be careful how you talk to yourself here. A lot of us talk to ourselves in here in a less than polite manner. So As I was taught to catch the football, my coach, Mr. Sargentson, said, Michael, you have the skills. You've got the mitt size. Most people would love to have hands that big to be in sports. So you just have to believe that it's possible. And when I started to believe, and he broke it down and made me help me understand, I got very much improved in the process. So yes, it applies to school, managing health, your job, advanced education, being a community member. These skills all apply everywhere.
Okay, so now I want to invite you in our school, Rehan School, Korangi campus. So when you come in Pakistan, so also come in Rehan School, Korangi campus and give a session.
I would be honored to do that. I would be very honored. And if we can't do it in person, we could do it online.
Yeah, good. Okay, so when you are coming in Pakistan?
That I don't know. I've been invited, but we've always had travel plan issues. So we will see what we can do.
Okay, so when you have traveled to Pakistan, so kindly come in Rehan School, Korangi campus.
Well, we'll have a conversation offline where we exchange email addresses, and I will put it in the calendar, and I will introduce you to people who might be able to help make that happen. Because I'd be honored to come to several schools. It would be very important to do and share.
Okay. So now my next question is from you. How do you manage stress in your work?
How do I manage
Stress.
sickness? Well, part of
Stress.
I keep missing the last word. How do I manage?
Stress. Stress.
You're going to have to write it in the private chat. My ears have failed to work. Oh, perfect. Stress, yes. It's amazing sometimes how I think I'm a good listener. I heard you say the word, and my brain went, what did he say? Anyways, managing our stress partially is, how do you define yourself? If there's a picture in a private dictionary that only you can see, it's your personal private dictionary, we all have defined ourselves. From the day we were born, others have told us what they think we are. So some of those things are perfectly true. Some of those things are a bit of confusion, partially true and partially not true. And some of them with good intention, or maybe somebody was nasty in our life, they're wrong. So we have to look at what I call self-definition. So I could describe myself as very old, 69, 2 chronic illnesses, not so healthy, cancer survivor. Oh, I'm happy to be here. But, I have 5 major surgeries, big incisions. Oh, and those are all true. Or I could define myself, not like the first time, but, I'm really lucky. I have 2 chronic illnesses, but I've learned skills and got medical care so that my health is way above average compared to most people my age or even 20 years younger. And yes, I had 2 bouts of cancer, 5 major surgeries, and 77 medical clips, but I'm still here. And we all have a chronological age, but I'm working on having a body age that's 10 to 20 years younger than my chronological age. And I often score 8 to 18 years younger on my body age than chronological age, because I want to live life to the best of my abilities. So that's why how I manage stress, because I don't define myself as old. I define myself as capable and wanting to and needing to learn more things to help me manage my health and my life and my attitude to stay the healthiest guy possible and to manage my stress. And two of the things to manage stress, other than how I define myself, is joyfulness. So you see, to meet you is a joyful experience, because I know in the years ahead, we stay in touch. You have lots to teach me as much as I have to teach you. And then gratitude. I am grateful that I was at the right time and the right place when my first major health issue was diagnosed, that my surgeon in his 9th year of medical school, just before graduation to be a complete surgeon, said, "Oh, there's a place in Europe that does advanced surgical techniques for cancer patients with digestive tract issues or kidney cancer issues." He went back to school after 9 years of medical school. He went back to school for 6 more months. If that's not dedicated to being a healer, I don't know what is. So he took leading edge 1979 surgical techniques back to Canada after that 6 months. And in 1981, I had the privilege of being one of his first 150 surgeries he did for people with my type of bowel cancer. So gratitude, joyfulness, always paying attention to self-definition. Because if I'd have believed a few people in my life that weren't very nice, I might have never gone past high school because I have spelling challenges. This brain doesn't work well with spelling. And if I'd have listened to just them, I wasn't smart enough. I just wasn't spelling smart. I have other skills that offset that. So that's some of the things that I do and use to manage my stress.
These are amazing ways that you do for manage your success. So now my next question is from you. What is your daily responsibilities?
Ah, that's a really good question. There's a wide variety. So my unofficial activities are, I have some seniors that are important to me, over 85. So I stay in touch. I reach out. I say hello. Now, it's important to be very respectful to my seniors, but one of the things I've learned from them, and some of my senior friends have passed, one at 97 in the last few years, one at 93, and they tell me that as they got older, people stopped having fun with them. So it's important to be very, very respectful, but they still like a silly joke. They still like a little bit of joyfulness and gratitude. So my friend Ralph has just had to move somewhere where somebody can keep an eye on him twice a day to make sure he's safe because he's not as stable on his feet. So I teased him that he's moved to the south of me. So I teased him that I'm uptown Mike and he's downtown Ralph. It's just a little bit of nonsense. There's no disrespect meant, but I leave him a voicemail. Downtown Ralph, guess who this is? And I hang up. So he calls me back when he's finished his lunch or bathroom and, "Okay, young man, I heard that message. What's up?" And it's just a little bit of joyfulness back and forth. So that's one of my daily things that sometimes I do twice in a day and sometimes I do once every couple of days. But it's staying in touch with my elders that are important to me. My friend Marion, who since passed at 93, was an amazing teacher because she taught me a lot about race relations and things like shadeism, which I had never heard of. Because of my cultural background from Western Europe, I didn't know what shadeism was, and that was the depth of skin tone. And she was light-skinned of one race, and her brother was dark-skinned. So when she explained how she was allowed to go through the front door of certain places, and her brother had to go through the side door, I was appalled, just appalled that we would do that to each other. Anyways, having my senior friends in my life helps me in my day-to-day because it helps me give me a sense of history, a sense of depth of perception, and joyfulness and gratitude because these are people that have lived life much more fully than many of us. And a little bit of respectful nonsense with a lot of gratitude that they're still in my life. And of course, my friend Ralph, we both have a large affection for coffee. So he'll say, "It's good to see you." And I'll say, "Well, I guess so, but I'm here for the coffee." And then he laughs because I'm being silly and irreverent. But he knows I don't really mean it. But after we're talking for a while, I go, "I'm still waiting for my coffee." So it's nonsense with respect and done with love. And so it's fun to be honorary nephew, son, brother to this gentleman of 92 years. And I'm having a birthday next month. So I told him, "I'm gaining on you." And he goes, "Yes, but in July I pull ahead again." because we have more than a couple of decades of age difference. But that's something that's very important to me to do frequently. Uh, my health is a daily duty. So 4 to 5 days a week, exercise, age appropriately. One of the things I noticed with my friends as we've aged is somewhere between 25 and 35, a good third to half of my friends stopped staying fit. It was too much bother. They were too busy. Well, you don't have to be Olympic fitness to be fit. You can still strive for that 12 to 20 minutes 5 days a week just to stay in good, what I call good tone, so that should something happen, a car accident, a trip and fall, a health issue with what's going on the inside, if you're in good tone, all my medical people have told me in the 5 times I had to go for cancer surgery, Michael, you're really lucky you were in good shape. Well, I wasn't Olympic athlete in good shape. I wasn't a provincial state level athlete, but I was in good tone. I was in, 12 to 20 minutes of good exercise vigorously every day. Break a sweat often, but not always. So it's important to stay fit. What do you put in here for fuel? Your food, that's a daily duty. Don't eat perfect. Perfect is boring. So I'm diabetic type 2. If your mother and your grandmother has it, the statistic will tell you that 80% of us will become diabetic at some point. I knew at 40 that was possible. So I, somewhere between 30 and 40, cut my sugar way down. No more white sugar in my house. But that doesn't mean I didn't make the odd batch of oatmeal, raisin, cranberry, multigrain cookies, somewhat like my mother made, except that I don't eat 6 at once. I have 1 or 2 with coffee and then exercise to burn off the sugar. But oh, does it taste good. And it's great, powerful memories of my mother when I was 6 that baked me those cookies. So moderation. So I generally have 19 really healthy meals a week from all the food groups. And 2 meals a week, some would say, are cheat meals, but they're very satisfying in taste and bring back memories of being a kid. And the same goes with desserts. I often don't have desserts. However, if I'm going to eat ice cream, and as a diabetic, one should not have ice cream except in tiny amounts, I save my money and I have really good stuff and have a small helping. Oh, it's so good. Oh. And I remember my mom and dad, chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream, butterscotch, fudge. Not often, not even once a month, but yummy. So what fuel do you put in here? And another daily duty, what do you allow to enter here and here? A phone with internet is amazing, but there's a lot of junk on the internet. There's a lot of junk that passes as news. So I have myself on a social media diet. I love to watch music, but be careful what the lyrics are. I love to watch talent shows like Britain's Got Talent, Canada's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. The man that can beatbox while playing a pan flute, unbelievable. Who knew anybody could beatbox that well? And who knew anybody could play the pan flute that well and do both close to simultaneously? I've watched him 5 or 6 times, each video 5 or 6 times. I'm amazed at his talent. But that inspires me to be what I'm good at, which is sharing information. So those are some of the things that I see as daily duties. And a little coffee. It says, shh, not yet. Now you may speak. So it's a bit of a joke that only when I drank this much coffee can we talk. So it's a nonsense. So that's what I love to do. And it seems our host has have to gone online. So hopefully he'll come back. But it's important to practice our resiliency. So let me leave you with some thoughts on resiliency about beliefs and values. The phrase, I am, is very important. I am resilient. I am learning more ways to be resilient. I have ways to be resilient, and I have ways to become more resilient. I'm learning on a frequent basis. I am, I have, I can practice these skills, and I will practice these skills. And the last phrase, I do practice these skills to be more resilient daily and weekly. And I'm always looking out for how I am, I have, I can, I do. And I would invite you, the viewers, to watch us in the Resiliency for Life page and the Resiliency for Life group in Facebook. And you can find me, for those adults that are on LinkedIn, you can find the Resiliency for Life group there. And the Resilience for Life group in Facebook has over 4,600 members. I don't like the word followers. I don't want sheep. I want people who think and feel independently and critique me and ask good questions. And last and not least, you can find me on TikTok as Resilient Michael, and you can find me on Instagram as Resilient Michael, where I share skills and ideas and a little bit of personal stuff about how to be more resilient. So thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. It is an honor to be here, and I look forward to next time. And imagine yourself with more resiliency for life. I'm Michael Ballard from Resiliency for Life. And Usman, thank you very much for the privilege and the opportunity. Until next time, I'm Michael Ballard. See you in Facebook, see you in LinkedIn, see you on TikTok, or see you on Instagram. Maybe even YouTube. Anyways, bye-bye.